Liam wakes up and finds himself sitting alone at a table, with a servant asking if something is wrong. He wonders where he is. Wasn't he just having an evening drink after work? When he catches his reflection in a mirror, he panics. He now has the face and body of a child. A man approaches and tells him that even if he is the fifth son, he is still a member of the Hamilton family. Instead of staring blankly, Liam should compose himself. The servant adds that the master is in a good mood today, which only confuses Liam further. She explains that the Count of Hamilton has finally had a daughter after having nothing but sons. She hopes Liam enjoys his sister's birthday celebration. Liam assumes this must be a dream, yet the next morning he wakes up in the exact same situation and realizes it's all real. After doing some research, he learns that the owner of this body is named Liam Hamilton, the Count's fifth son. The party the night before had been held to celebrate the birth of his younger sister, but Liam has no idea why any of this is happening. He also notices that the Hamilton estate has an enormous yard. Everything he can see belongs to the family. When he speaks with one of his brothers, he learns that if their new baby sister grows up to be beautiful and marries into the royal family, the Hamiltons will be secure. That brother is named Bruno, the fourth son. Bruno explains that their family is still in danger of being stripped of their noble rank. Their father and eldest brother are desperate to succeed because the nation requires every noble house to accomplish something at least once every 3 generations or lose their status. When their father, the third head of the house, passes the title on, the Hamiltons could become commoners. That's why the pressure is so intense. Bruno, however, isn't worried. He intends to live as he pleases. A man soon arrives to tell the boys it's time for their magic lesson. Liam is thrilled. They actually get to study magic. Bruno warns him not to get too excited. Only 1 in 100 people have any aptitude for magic. Still, the teacher says it is necessary for everyone to understand what magic is, regardless of talent. After the lesson, Liam asks a servant to take him to the family's archive. There, he chooses a book on novice fire magic. Naturally, he begins practicing right away. But if he wants to take any books out of the library, he needs his father's permission. His father grants it without much interest. For the next month, Liam practices constantly. He learns that magic is the accumulation of knowledge that nobles and royals usually monopolize. But since he now has the opportunity to study freely, he refuses to waste it. After a month of practice, he demonstrates his progress to Bruno. Bruno is shocked that Liam can cast magic without a grimoire, and after only a month. He flips through Liam's book, convinced there must be some kind of hidden secret, but it looks like any ordinary grimoire. Bruno tells Liam he's incredible. He has heard that even people with talent take a full year to learn basic spells. If Liam can use magic, he might be able to gain status in the kingdom and advance in life. But is he studying this hard to become the next head of the family? Liam replies that he isn't. Bruno warns him at least not to become a target for their eldest brother. Soon after, Liam gets the novice ice magic grimoire, since he has already learned all the novice fire spells. As he begins studying ice magic, his father summons him. He has heard Liam can use magic and wants to see it for himself. When he watches Liam cast magic without a grimoire, and after only a month of learning, he exclaims that the heavens have blessed them. He tells Liam not to hesitate if there are any grimoires he wants. Liam thinks he has never seen his father this happy before, but then a man rushes into the room to report that a suspicious person has entered their territory. Liam's father immediately orders the soldiers to gather. Liam still has no idea what is going on, so he goes to his usual spot to continue practicing magic. There, a stranger suddenly speaks to him. Realizing Liam is one of the Hamilton sons, the man mutters that this must be his fate. Liam can do as he likes. Liam doesn't understand, so the man asks if he didn't come to arrest him. Liam asks, why would he do that? The man replies that he must simply be on edge. Liam is just a child after all. Noticing the book in Liam's hands, the man says that the best way to learn magic is steady, repeated practice. But then he asks if Liam wants to know a better, more efficient method. When Liam asks what it is, the man shows him that he can cast 5 different spells at once. Liam is stunned. How can he do that? The man offers to teach him, and Liam eagerly agrees. The man says he likes Liam. He isn't tainted by the pointless pride most nobles have. He begins teaching Liam how to cast 2 spells at once, 1 with each hand. Liam succeeds almost instantly, firing off 2 fire spells at the same time. The man explains that this is a technique called mystique, something only 1 person in a million can use. But he doesn't let Liam stop there. Now Liam must try 3 spells at once. Liam manages it for a brief moment and thinks he failed. But the man says he actually succeeded. He simply lacks the magic power to maintain it. The technique consumes several times more mana than a normal spell. Learning to cast 3 spells at once in such a short time is incredible. Now Liam just needs to learn how to control his magic power. The man says his own limit is 13 concurrent spells. With his potential, he believes he could reach 16. But the number of simultaneous spells one can cast is based on prime numbers, and the next one after 13 is 17. A massive leap. It's a real wall. Even so, Liam has a promising future. Youth is a weapon, and the ability to listen to others is an even greater one. The man then gives Liam a ring. Put simply, it's a massive grimoire, containing the equivalent of 100 grimoires worth of magic. He says he will teach Liam one final thing. He tells Liam to open his grimoire. Liam lands on a spell for summoning a salamander, a low-rank fire spirit. The man instructs him to try casting the spell while wearing the ring. When Liam does, the fire spirit is drawn straight into the ring. The man explains that the ring absorbed the grimoire's contents. Liam can think of it as a notebook with endless blank pages. The ring itself isn't special, but it will save him from having to carry books around. Convenient, indeed. The man tells him to try absorbing a few more. After that, the man disappears, leaving behind a message scratched into the dirt telling Liam not to mention him to anyone. Liam thinks that although they spent only a short time together, and he doesn't even know the man's name, that man is unquestionably his master. Roughly a month after Liam's master disappears, Liam uses various magic spells to create white charcoal. It produces no smoke and lasts a long time. Bruno is impressed. You can't make white charcoal this good without a proper furnace, and Liam made it with magic. He figures Liam will probably be fine on his own someday. Liam asks what he means. Bruno explains that he is getting married to a low-ranking noble family. They are poorer than the Hamiltons, but he will gain more freedom. Then Bruno asks if Liam knows about their father's great blunder. It happened right after Liam was born. Their father desperately wanted a daughter, so he could marry her into the royal family and secure their noble status. But Liam was born a boy instead. Desperate to achieve something, their father sent 1,000 soldiers to defeat a powerful monster sealed on their land. They were utterly crushed. They barely managed to reseal the monster, and 90% of the soldiers were lost. Their father and eldest brother are desperate to hold on to their noble status, but Bruno thinks the Hamilton family is finished. He advises Liam to think seriously about how to secure his own independence. Liam congratulates Bruno on his marriage and thanks him for the advice. He realizes that to follow it, he needs money first. So he begins selling everything he produces with magic, even instant ramen. But after a while, buyers stop coming. One of them explains that only the eldest son can conduct business on Hamilton land without prior authorization. Naturally, that stupid rule was put in place by the eldest Hamilton son. He won't allow Liam to do as he pleases. Liam doubts his father would give him permission to fund his independence. He could wait until adulthood, but who knows how long that will take. Just then he gets an idea, to use contract summoning in an unconventional way. He will make himself the subject of the contract. And it works. He creates a clone. He immediately sends the clone to other territories to sell his goods, earning him 36 silver coins. Some time passes, and Liam continues to hone his magical abilities with tireless dedication. He commands his clones to fire off multiple magic missiles, watching with satisfaction as the glowing projectiles streak through the air. While he is finishing his practice, his eldest brother, Albrevit, approaches him. The atmosphere between them is somewhat tense, as Albrevit mentions that the servants have been whispering about Liam's impressive magical progress. Liam humbly downplays his skill, but he knows what his brother is really thinking. As the eldest son and heir to the Hamilton house, Albrevit likely fears that Liam is trying to steal his position. When Albrevit asks what he wants to do with his life, Liam is quick to clarify his intentions. He explains that his goal is to become independent and find a way to support himself so that he is not a burden or a threat to the family legacy. Relieved by this answer, Albrevit offers to introduce him to the Hunters Guild. Liam wastes no time and heads directly to the guild, an establishment where hunters gather to take on dangerous beasts and monsters for pay. As he enters, the seasoned adventurers inside look at his small stature and begin to mock him. They laugh and ask if he is just there to run errands for his parents, clearly believing a child has no place in such a dangerous profession. Liam ignores their insults and walks straight to the counter to speak with the guildmaster. The man recognizes Liam from Albrevit's recommendation, but insists that he must take a test before he can be officially registered. He explains that the guild cannot risk sending someone on a mission that is beyond their skill level, as it would lead to certain death. He tells Liam to cast an attack spell, even offering to let him speak the incantation slowly. Liam knows that because he is currently maintaining a magical illusion, he cannot reveal his true, overwhelming power, but he decides to give a solid performance anyway. He fires a spell that leaves the guildmaster stunned. The man admits he has never seen magic of that level before, and immediately grants Liam a B-rank license, skipping the lower ranks entirely. While Liam is wandering the streets and wondering exactly how high a B-rank status truly is, he is approached by a high-spirited female adventurer named Asuna. She questions if he is really a member of the Hamilton family, and then boldly suggests that they should form a hunting party together. She points out that hunting alone is far too dangerous, and that having a partner would make them both much safer. Liam finds her cheerful and assertive personality very likable, so he agrees to the partnership. As they make their way toward the forest, Liam realizes they haven't actually accepted a specific job from the guild. Asuna explains that for hunters below A rank, it is common to simply head into the wild, find dangerous creatures, and bring back proof of their defeat for a reward. Their first challenge arrives quickly as they find themselves completely surrounded by a pack of giant wolves. The situation looks grim, and Asuna begins to worry that they are in over their heads. Liam, however, remains perfectly calm. He asks Asuna if she can handle the finishing blows if he stops the wolves in their tracks. He calls upon the earth spirits, using a spell to summon gnomes that burst from the ground and immobilize the entire pack. Asuna is deeply impressed by his support magic and quickly moves in to finish off the trapped beasts. When they return to the guildmaster is shocked to see that they have successfully hunted 42 wolves in a single outing. Because of this incredible display of strength, he decides to hire them for a special, high-priority mission. The guildmaster explains that an extremely important person will soon be traveling through the area, and he needs a specific monster cleared out before they arrive. Asuna is thrilled by the news, seeing it as a sign that the guild finally acknowledges their true strength. The target is a carnivorous caterpillar, a creature that Asuna finds quite disgusting. Liam reflects on the nature of monsters, noting that because they possess magic stones in their bodies, they are much more dangerous than ordinary animals, often using magic or high-level combat skills. For this fight, Liam decides to drop his illusion entirely, wanting to use every bit of his mana and focus to ensure their victory. The battle proves to be more difficult than they expected. The caterpillar's hide is incredibly thick, and none of Liam's standard spells seem to leave a scratch on it. They are forced to retreat for a moment to rethink their strategy. Asuna laments their lack of progress, and jokingly wishes that a meteor would just fall from the sky and crush the bug. Liam takes her joke seriously, and tells her that it is a brilliant idea. Using his item box spell, he produces a massive boulder he had stored away, dropping it directly onto the caterpillar. Back at the guildmaster is speechless when they return so quickly with the news that they killed not one, but 2 of the giant insects. He is amazed by their efficiency, and realizing how much danger they prevented for the upcoming VIP, he offers them 5 times the normal reward. Several days later, Albrevet checks in on Liam, expressing his satisfaction that his recommendation worked out so well. Asuna, who is standing nearby, whispers to Liam that his brother seems like a real jerk. Liam doesn't disagree, privately thinking about how eldest sons often view their younger siblings as nothing more than a nuisance. Their conversation is interrupted by the arrival of the important person mentioned by the guildmaster. It is an old man who commands immense respect from everyone around him. When the old man looks toward them, Asuna gets excited, hoping they might move up in the world if they catch his eye. The man, whose name is Stanley, later meets with Liam at his home. He reveals that he recognized the ring Liam is wearing, a ring that belonged to a man named Raymond. He sternly asks if Liam killed Raymond to get it, but Liam quickly explains that the man was actually his master, who gave him the ring as a gift. Stanley softens, realizing that is exactly the kind of thing Raymond would do. To test Liam's worth, Stanley orders his servant to put up a magical shield and tells Liam to hit him with everything he has. Liam decides to use an incantation to boost his power, using the names of singers he admired in his past life as a way to resonate with his own heart. He fires 11 magic missiles at once, completely shattering the servant's defense. Impressed by this high-volume magic, Stanley decides to grant Liam the title of Knight. This officially grants Liam his independence, allowing him to escape his brother's hostility while technically remaining part of the family until he reaches adulthood. Stanley informs Liam that his master, Raymond, loved to play pranks and asks if Liam has ever felt tricked by him. This reminds Liam of a recent event where he used his item box to suck up the water of a lake and found a waterproofed letter from his master. In the letter, Raymond congratulated him on mastering the item box and claimed he had scattered 100 kilograms of gold dust in the lake as a graduation gift. However, Stanley tells him that the gold was just a smokescreen and that the true graduation gift is still hidden nearby. Liam returns to the lake and thinks deeply about the number 100. He realizes that if he uses his item box to expel the gold dust back into the lake, it acts as a key. This action triggers a hidden mechanism, opening a secret staircase leading underground. At the bottom, he finds a note and a powerful high-level grimoire for a spell called Another World. Raymond's note explains that he was never able to master the spell himself and hopes Liam can succeed. Over the next hours, Liam practices tirelessly. He eventually succeeds in casting the spell, which creates a door to a private, empty dimension outside of the normal world. He realizes he can use this space to store living people, or even build a secret base where no one can follow him. A month later, Liam and Asuna are on an A-rank mission to hunt a giant frog. When the monster prepares a massive counterattack, Liam uses Another World to pull Asuna into his safe dimension, protecting them both from the explosion. The guildmaster is amazed when they return with the magic stone, admitting he thought they would struggle much more. Asuna feels a bit of jealousy that Liam is the one getting all the credit, and she expresses a desire to get stronger so he doesn't leave her behind. The guildmaster suggests that they form a familiar contract. He explains that while this means she can never disobey Liam, her own abilities will be greatly enhanced by his magic power. Asuna trusts Liam completely and agrees. They perform the ritual where she kisses his hand, and she immediately awakens a unique skill called Speedster, allowing her to move faster than the eye can see. They later perform the same contract with a veteran hunter named Jody, who not only grows younger, but gains a magical cooking skill that can heal any wound. Finally, Stanley visits Liam again to deliver some shocking news. He reveals that Princess Scarlet, the first princess of the kingdom, has heard rumors of a 12-year-old mage who can cast 11 spells at once and evolve familiars. She is coming to see him and wants a demonstration of his servants. Liam is immediately unhappy with the request. He tells Stanley that his familiars are his friends, not a spectacle to be shown off, and he refuses to order them to perform like circus animals. Stanley is surprised by the refusal. After Liam is gone, the maid who was standing silently behind Stanley drops her disguise. She is Princess Scarlet herself, having come incognito to see what kind of person Liam is. She finds him very interesting, and wonders if he will have the same courage to refuse her when they meet face to face. Liam is soon summoned for an official audience with the first princess. As he walks through the palace, passing rows of high-ranking officials and servants who move with practiced precision, he wonders to himself if the princess is truly as important as everyone seems to suggest. When he finally stands before her, he introduces himself with a bow. Princess Scarlet wastes no time, ordering him to raise his head and inviting him to sit. She demands to know the exact details of how a young boy managed to defeat dangerous creatures like the carnivorous caterpillars and a giant frog. Liam narrates his battle strategies, and Scarlet listens with growing fascination. Even Stanley admits that there is no known precedent for defeating a giant frog without the use of high-level magic. While they speak, Liam finds himself curious about what high-level magic actually feels like, secretly hoping he can attempt such a feat one day. The princess then turns the conversation toward his familiar contracts, asking him to demonstrate them for her. Liam feels the weight of her royal authority pressing down on him, a silent pressure designed to make him obey. But this only strengthens his resolve to refuse. He tells her firmly that he will not make a spectacle of his friends just to satisfy her curiosity. Instead of being angry, Scarlet is delighted, noting that he is exactly as he seemed when she was in disguise. She declares that he has amused her twice now, and for that she grants him the title of Baron. Liam is stunned, believing he has done nothing to earn such a rank, but Scarlet insists that his ability to intrigue her is more valuable than any political marriage. Along with the title, she gives him a rare grimoire regarding familiar contracts. Liam's eyes light up with genuine excitement as he thanks her, prompting Scarlet to chuckle at the fact that he seems more thrilled by a book than by his new noble status. Back at the Hamilton estate, Liam spends his time in the garden studying the new grimoire. He realizes that until he truly masters the techniques inside, his current familiar contracts are tied to the physical book. If he lets go of it, the contracts could be nullified. His brother Bruno approaches him, surprised to see him still practicing magic after everything he has achieved. Bruno congratulates him on becoming a baron, pointing out that Albrevet must be furious because Liam now effectively holds a higher status than their own father. Bruno explains the hierarchy of nobility, noting that those who earn their titles through merit are far more respected than those who simply inherit them. He encourages Liam to surpass their miserable father and continue his ascent. As Liam enters the house later that evening, he attempts to greet Albrevet, but his eldest brother ignores him completely. Albrevet is spiraling into a jealous rage, unable to accept that his measly fifth brother is now a baron. When he overhears the maids praising Liam's magical accomplishments, Albrevet snaps at them, demanding to know who they think is superior. The terrified maids tell him what he wants to hear, but the encounter only fuels Albrevet's desperate need to prove himself. He vows that anything Liam can do, he can do better. The next day, Liam meets with Jody and Asuna. Jody informs him that since they have formed a formal master and servant relationship, she will now refer to him as master. Liam finds this embarrassing and asks her to just use his name, so she settles on calling him Liam. Asuna adds that despite his young age, Liam has become so dependable and level-headed that he naturally feels like a leader. Jody even admits that her heart races when they are together. The three of them officially form a party and head out to hunt. During the battle, Liam notices that Asuna's movements have become much sharper. He then turns his attention to Jody, who explains that her vision as an archer is her greatest asset. Liam decides to test a new application of his magic, casting a spell called Build Up on her eyes. Jody is amazed, realizing she can see significantly farther than ever before. Asuna is jealous and asks for an enhancement as well, but Liam warns her against it. He explains that boosting her physical attack power would put too much strain on her body, potentially causing her to break her own bones upon impact. He agrees that boosting her vision is safe, however. With her enhanced sight, Jody manages to take down a distant target with a single perfect shot. Both girls are full of praise, crediting Liam for their newfound efficiency. The peaceful training session is interrupted when they return to the guild and find it in a state of chaos. Men are shouting for anyone who can still move to gear up. Liam asks a bystander what happened and learns that Albrevet has caused a disaster. In his desperate attempt to outshine Liam, Albrevet tried to mess with a powerful seal and failed spectacularly. Realizing he may have inadvertently provoked his brother into this recklessness, Liam rushes to the site of the disturbance. He finds a group of wounded adventurers, including a battered Albrevet who is still trying to act tough despite his injuries. The guildmaster loses his patience with the eldest Hamilton's son, knocking him down and ordering the guards to take the rich kid back to town. He thanks Liam for coming and explains the situation. The dragon fiend Radon, who was sealed away by Liam's great-grandfather, has been partially unsealed. While the main dragon will take a week to regain its full strength, its offspring, the junior Radons, are already loose and causing carnage. When Liam and the girls find the creatures, they are surprised to see they are only the size of medium dogs. However, their power is immense. The juniors breathe massive pillars of flame that dwarf anything the party has faced. Liam fires 7 magic missiles, but they do nothing. Realizing they are outmatched in a direct fight, Liam orders the girls to flee. He uses his item box to prepare himself and then invokes the names of his favorite idols to cast another world. He creates a separate dimension and traps the junior Radons inside it. Because he hasn't mastered the spell, the dimension collapses and erases everything inside it, effectively making the dragons vanish forever. The guildmaster is speechless when he hears that Liam defeated all 3 junior Radons alone. As they approach the spot where the main dragon fiend lies sleeping, the girls reunite with Liam. He explains that he used a spatial spell to remove the threat, though he admits he almost died in the process. Suddenly, a deep, ancient voice echoes in Liam's mind. It is Radon, the dragon fiend. The dragon addresses Liam as a little human with an immense soul. It notes that Liam's soul and his young body do not match, hinting that it perceives the adult consciousness living inside the child. Radon expresses interest in Liam's life and offers to join him. It promises not to harm him and offers to help him, though it clarifies it will only provide enough support to build upon the foundation Liam creates himself. Liam senses no malice in the creature, finding its presence somewhat similar to his old master's. He accepts the offer, and Radon enters Liam's body, leaving a distinct mark on his hand. The power surge is immediate. Liam tests his strength and finds he can now fire 11 magic missiles simultaneously without an incantation. When he does use an incantation, he fires 17 missiles with perfect control. However, the sheer pressure of his mana begins to make the people around him feel ill. Radon's voice tells him to draw the mana back in, and Liam realizes he must learn to suppress this new, overwhelming energy. In the aftermath, Liam provides the guild with 10 kilograms of gold from his item box as compensation for the trouble and to help the injured. The guildmaster is moved, wishing that Liam were the heir to the Hamilton family instead of Albrevet. Liam's father also thanks him for cleaning up the mess and informs him that Albrevet is under house arrest and may be disinherited. He warns Liam that Princess Scarlet is still in town and that an official award for his heroism is likely coming. That night, Liam has a vivid dream where he practices new spells. When he wakes, he realizes he has learned how to summon a junior Radon. He practices the summoning in private, finding the small dragon to be surprisingly cute and loyal. While he is petting the creature, Princess Scarlet appears, catching him in the act. She is shocked, believing she is witnessing him use holy magic. She informs Liam that while the political elders won't let her give him a higher title than Baron yet, she is granting him the Order of the Phoenix 3rd Class. She explains that the people need a hero to feel safe after the dragon scare. She then asks for the details of the dragon's disappearance. Liam tells her the truth, but Scarlet becomes visibly flustered, insisting that what he describes is impossible. She tells him to keep the details a secret from everyone else, fearing the implications of his power. The next day, her subordinates arrive with 3,000 gold coins, a sum Liam realizes is likely hush money to ensure he stays quiet about the true nature of his victory. The quiet atmosphere of the Hamilton estate is broken when Stanley pays a surprise visit to Liam. He wastes no time with pleasantries and asks directly if Liam has truly mastered holy magic. Liam feels a surge of internal conflict. He remembers the massive payment Princess Scarlet gave him to keep quiet, but Stanley sees right through the deception. He notes that such a large sum of money was almost an invitation for suspicion. Stanley explains that while defeating a dragon is a massive achievement, normally the princess would have returned to the capital immediately to report to the king. Since she stayed, something is clearly being hidden. He mentions reports of the dragon's massive form turning into light and entering Liam's body. Feeling he can no longer keep the secret, Liam admits that he has indeed learned several holy spells. He feels a momentary wave of guilt for spilling the beans and betraying the princess's trust, but Stanley is satisfied to have his suspicions confirmed. Liam demonstrates his power by casting a novice holy spell that clears status ailments. Stanley is impressed, realizing the spell can even cure poison and petrification, which truly makes it an act of God. The conversation takes a historical turn, as Stanley asks if Liam knows of the War of Three Dragons. He explains that their nation was founded by a human who joined with the victorious dragon that used holy magic. Stanley asks what Liam imagines when he hears of a human and dragon joining. Liam suggests marriage, but Stanley points out that the reality might be exactly what happened to Liam, a fusion of souls. Stanley grows worried, realizing that if Radon is actually the nation's ancestor, the Hamilton family's pride in sealing the dragon might actually be a grave insult that could lead to the family being dissolved. Furthermore, he worries the dragon might be seeking revenge for its imprisonment. Liam reassures him, recalling Radon's own words about not caring for human standards. He tells Stanley that the dragon isn't angry, but is instead interested in watching Liam's life. Stanley realizes that Liam has unknowingly become the savior of the kingdom, an achievement greater than any other in history. In the following days, Liam continues his relentless practice, figuring out how to start long incantations ahead of time and using blank shots to refine his control. His life becomes much more chaotic as Jody and Asuna pull him aside to show him a mountain of applications from adventurers who want to join his party. They tell him these people are likely just trying to ride his coattails, but as the leader, the choice is his. Even back at home, the maids present him with stacks of marriage proposals. His brother Bruno even brings a request from his own in-laws, pushing for a political match. Bruno notes that even high-ranking nobles are suddenly desperate to know Liam. Liam is overwhelmed by the attention, reflecting on how he was never this popular in his previous life. To escape the pressure, Liam brings Jody and Asuna into the dimension created by his spell, Another World. They are stunned to find a full house inside the magical space. Liam explains that he had local carpenters build it and then transported it there using his item box. He reveals that he has finally mastered the spell, so things no longer vanish when he dispels it. However, they realize the space has no natural light, making it difficult to sleep. Liam begins experimenting with spirit summoning. He summons a low-level shade and uses contract magic to name it. The naming process causes the spirit to evolve into a mid-level shade, which can now speak and control the darkness to a comfortable level. The spirit tells Liam that his ring is actually an ancient storage device that can hold mid-level spells. Following this lead, Liam evolves his fire spirit, who takes the name Ifrit, and proceeds to evolve spirits for water, earth, wind, light, and ice. He stores all these mid-level summoning spells in his ring, significantly increasing his magical arsenal. At Radon's request, Liam travels deep into the woods to the place where the dragon once slept. Radon asks Liam to summon his child and protect the local pixies. When Liam arrives, the tiny pixies are terrified and try to flee, but Liam shows them the dragon child to prove he is an envoy sent for their protection. He explains that humans often hunt pixies for their valuable wings, and Radon wants Liam to take over the task of guarding them. Radon suggests that Liam name the pixies while forming contracts with them. When Liam names the first pixie Reyna, the magical resonance causes her to evolve instantly into an elf. Liam is fascinated, as he had only ever known elves from fairy tales. He proceeds to name the others, Natasha, Nia, and more, transforming the entire group into a tribe of beautiful elves. They are overcome with gratitude and ask Liam for orders. He suggests they build a village and live peacefully, appointing Reyna as their chief. While exploring the woods, Liam discovers a source of condensed magic power that the pixies had been gathering. Reyna encourages him to eat the nectar, and upon doing so, Liam feels his mana capacity explode. He tests his power and finds he can now cast 19 magic missiles at once. The peace is short-lived, however. The next day, Liam finds the village under attack by bandits who intend to sell the elves into slavery. Liam easily defeats the criminals with his magic missiles and saves a young elf named Susie. Realizing the woods are no longer safe, he decides to move the entire tribe into his another world dimension. The elves are amazed by his power and beg him to be their leader, even suggesting he become their king. Liam modestly accepts the role of leader and provides them with instant ramen, which they find delicious. Liam turns his focus to mastering a high-level holy magic spell given to him by Radon, Teleport. For 4 days, he practices until he can cast it instantly. Radon directs him to a location 100 kilometers away known as the Sealed Lands. When they arrive, Liam is struck by the beauty of the area. Radon explains that this is a land he kept hidden and tells Liam to use it as he sees fit, even suggesting he found a nation there. Liam brings the elves to this new home. To provide them with water, he summons a mid-level water spirit, Windine, who creates a massive lake for the village. With a safe home established, Liam returns to his estate where he meets Princess Scarlet again. She asks if Radon has ever mentioned the Promised Land. Liam tells her about the Sealed Lands he just discovered and agrees to take her there. Before they leave, Liam uses a clever trick. He meets with a court engineer named Golak and creates a magical clone of the man to bring along, ensuring he has an expert to help the elves build their village. He then teleports Scarlet and the clone to the Hidden Valley. Scarlet is breathless, realizing the Sealed Lands are actually the legendary paradise from her people's stories. She explains that the Promised Land is said to be a place where humanity will be saved from extinction. Scarlet produces a royal heirloom called the Key of Destiny. When Liam touches the ring, the very earth begins to tremble, and the entire land starts to float into the sky. Scarlet is convinced that Liam is the master of the Promised Land. She kneels before him, pledging her total loyalty and begging him to create a new nation, a paradise for their people. Liam is hesitant about becoming a king, but Scarlet insists on her devotion. Liam realizes that this moment marks the true beginning of his journey to build a nation of his own. In this newly restored paradise, the elves work tirelessly to construct a village, guided by the phantom instructions of the court engineer. While the construction moves forward, Liam takes it upon himself to clear the territory of the dangerous monsters that still infest the wilder parts of the land. He practices his combat magic with intensity, unleashing long volleys of magic missiles and calling upon his holy lance to pierce through any threat. His intense training is interrupted by the arrival of Scarlet. She watches him with eyes full of wonder, explaining that she is completely captivated by the immense magic power he displays. When Liam tries to address her with the formal respect due to a first princess, she quickly stops him. She asks him to use her name instead of her title, reminding him that she has pledged herself as his servant. Liam finds it difficult to accept that a woman of her high status would want to serve him, but Scarlet explains her family history. She tells him that her mother's lineage carries the blood of dragons, a noble line that has often married into royalty. Because of this connection, she feels a spiritual duty to serve the great dragon god, Radon, and by extension, Liam himself. Their conversation is interrupted by a telepathic message from Radon. The dragon god directs Liam to head north, promising that they will find something Scarlet will find enjoyable. Liam shares the message with her, and Scarlet immediately agrees to go, stating that she will follow any instruction given by the dragon god. After traveling roughly a kilometer, they discover a set of ancient metal ruins. Inside, they find a massive mechanical guardian that looks exactly like Radon. Radon explains that this metal beast is a guardian modeled after his own image and challenges Liam to defeat it. He reveals a secret about the ancient script written on the guardian's forehead. By erasing a single letter, the meaning of the word changes from a name to a command to obey. Scarlet quickly identifies the correct letter, and Liam uses his holy lance to strike the script. The guardian immediately powers down and submits. Scarlet realizes the machine recognizes the dragon blood in her veins and decides to stay behind to tend to the guardian's wounds. Liam heads back to the village alone, still struggling to wrap his head around the idea of a princess being his servant, while Radon reminds him that he simply needs to gain the power and status to match his new position. When Liam reaches the village, he sees smoke rising and finds the elves in a state of panic. They explain that they were suddenly attacked by a group of wolfmen. The leader of the wolfmen confronts Liam, calling the newcomers filthy outsiders and demanding they leave the Holy Land. Liam tries to settle the matter peacefully, but when the wolfmen charge, he is forced to subdue them with his magic. Once they are immobilized, Liam summons Radon Jr. to show his connection to the dragon god. The wolfmen are stunned, realizing that Liam is actually the master Radon spoke of. They explain that they were only protecting the land from invaders, as they had been told to do for generations. To solidify their peace, the elves suggest that the wolfmen form a contract with Liam, just as they did. Liam agrees, and performs the contract magic on the wolf leader, giving her the name Chris. To his surprise, the fierce wolf leader transforms into a young human girl with wolf-like traits. With Chris and her newly evolved werewolves joining the workforce, the construction of the village speeds up significantly. A few days later, Liam returns to check on the progress. He finds Chris working hard to repair the buildings the wolfmen damaged during their initial attack. Seeing her struggle, Liam wonders if he can find a way to fix the structures with magic. Radon encourages him to invent his own spell by imagining the process of causality, moving from the raw materials to the finished product. Liam focuses his mind and creates a new spell called Keep Memory. He tests it on a wooden pillar, and when Chris breaks the wood, the spell instantly restores it to its perfect original state. Radon is genuinely impressed by Liam's genius, and Liam continues his research, eventually developing a power missile that is twice as strong as his original attacks. Radon advises Liam to keep developing magic, and to learn more about the world by establishing a formal nation. However, Liam's curiosity goes deeper. He wants to understand how the very first person created magic from nothing. Their philosophical discussion is cut short when the elves report that human invaders have entered the land. Liam teleports to the border and finds a small army of men on horseback who have been hunting pixies. These men represent neighboring human kingdoms like Palta and Jamil, and they view the wild lands as treasure to be claimed. When the men demand to know who he is, Liam stands tall and declares that this land is his nation. The men laugh at him, dismissing him as a delusional child, but Liam quickly proves his worth. He launches 17 power missiles as a warning, but the men refuse to retreat. Liam moves with incredible speed, teleporting behind each rider and knocking them unconscious one by one. After driving the invaders away, he returns to the village where the rescued pixies are hiding. Reyna, the elf leader, explains that the pixies want to stay under Liam's protection. Liam performs a massive contract ceremony for nearly 100 pixies, naming them and watching as they all evolve into elves, causing the village population to skyrocket. Gathering his leaders together, Liam shows them the helmets left behind by the invaders. Scarlet identifies the crest of the Principality of Palta and warns that scouts from Jamil and Quistador will likely follow. Since the Promised Land was restored, the geography has changed, and the neighboring states are now connected to them. Scarlet explains that a nation needs land, people, and power. Liam has the first two, but he realizes he needs a formal military. Chris eagerly volunteers her werewolves for the task, promising to kill anyone who threatens them. The situation escalates the next day when a noble named Leonardo arrives. He is a marquis from the kingdom of Jamil and claims his king wants an alliance rather than a war. As a sign of goodwill, the king offers First Princess Scarlet's hand in marriage to Liam. Liam realizes that Scarlet is standing right there, but Leonardo ignores her presence, using her as a political tool. To handle the situation, Liam quickly invents a telepathy spell to speak directly into Scarlet's mind. She advises him to accept the offer, as a marriage agreement will buy them at least 6 months of peace, while the other kingdoms reevaluate their plans. Liam tells Leonardo he would be honored to marry the princess, but asks for 1 year to prepare the land for her arrival. The Marquis agrees and departs. To keep up his end of the arrangement, Liam uses his teleportation magic to visit Scarlett's luxurious mansion in the royal capital. Scarlett welcomes him home, though she warns him to stay out of sight since he is now a foreign ruler. While inside, Liam senses a familiar power. Radon confirms that a dragon god statue in the house is actually an ancient artifact. Liam casts a cleansing spell on the statue, and it instantly transforms into a suit of magic battle armor that attaches itself to Scarlett. Scarlett tries to use the armor's power, but a single spell leaves her completely exhausted. Radon explains that this is the golden armor, the highest tier of magic equipment that allows humans to use dragon-like abilities. Liam decides to try making a lower-ranked version that is easier to use. He gathers high mithril and crafts a small statue, naming it Ares, and turning it into a familiar for Scarlett. This time, the armor feels light and powerful, allowing Scarlett to cast multiple spells without collapsing. Radon is fascinated by Liam's idea to treat magic items as familiars. He reveals that the giant guardian from the ruins was also a type of magic armor used by the dragon god himself. He challenges Liam to try equipping the massive statue. Liam performs the contract and feels an overwhelming surge of energy coursing through his body. He manages to fire 37 power missiles at once, but the effort drains every drop of his magic power, leaving him on his knees. Radon tells him that he is only the third person to ever survive wearing the armor and the first to successfully cast a spell while inside it. He tells Liam that if he can master this power, the entire world could belong to him. Liam stays on his knees for only a moment longer before reaching for his supply of magic crystals. He absorbs their energy steadily until his strength is fully restored. He stands and looks at the massive mechanical guardian, asking if he might borrow the construct for a while longer. Scarlett agrees immediately, telling him that he should be the one to hold on to it. Liam uses his item box spell, watching as the giant metal statue vanishes into his dimensional storage. He reflects on Radon's earlier words about the armor resembling a living creature, though the dragon god clarifies that while it possesses a will, it is not truly alive. With the guardian safely stored, Liam tells Scarlett that he is heading back to the village. Scarlett decides to stay in the royal capital for now, planning to keep a close eye on the political movements of the other nations. Liam casts a teleportation spell, sending her home before returning to his own growing settlement. The first phase of the village construction is now complete, but peace is a rare commodity in these wild lands. Reyna approaches Liam with a look of concern on her face. She explains that she has learned from Chris about a group of trolls living in the nearby territory. Liam pictures the creatures in his mind, huge, muscular beings standing nearly 3 meters tall. He knows that trolls usually fall into 2 categories. They are either incredibly violent or surprisingly kind-hearted. Reyna tells him that the stories she has heard about this specific group suggest they are the violent type. She worries that if these trolls remain hostile, they will eventually clash with the village or the humans who continue to trespass on the land. Liam agrees that they cannot afford to start any unnecessary wars and decides that the best course of action is to convince the trolls to join their cause. After Reyna points him toward their location, Liam sets out to find them. He arrives at a patch of land that appears barren at first glance, but his keen eyes quickly spot the reason. Beneath the lack of vegetation lies a massive deposit of iron ore. He realizes that while the surface looks desolate, the ground is rich with hidden resources. Suddenly, the trolls emerge from the crags. Their leader demands to know who he is, and Liam introduces himself calmly. He explains that he is building a nation and invites them to join him, mentioning that the elves and werewolves have already pledged their loyalty. The trolls are immediately suspicious, claiming that all humans are liars and telling him to leave or face death. The troll leader is a formidable opponent, possessing both immense physical strength and a surprisingly sharp tactical mind. As they fight, Liam realizes he has underestimated the beast. The troll leader lures him into a narrow gap between the rocks, positioning Liam so he can be crushed with a single devastating blow. Realizing he won't be able to dodge in time, Liam is forced to call upon Guardian Radon. The magic battle armor forms around him instantly, absorbing the impact of the troll's massive strike. Liam emerges from the dust cloud uninjured, though he admits the impact still makes his bones ache. The trolls are stunned to see him standing. Liam noticed that the leader's reckless movements were putting the other trolls in danger, so instead of attacking, Liam stayed in his armor and used boosted illusion magic to shield the rest of the trolls from their own leader's fury. Seeing Liam's kindness and strength, the troll leader finally calms down. He calls Liam a strong and kind person and agrees to listen to what he has to say. Liam explains his vision for the village. He tells the trolls that if they remain isolated, they will eventually be hunted down by human invaders. He wants them to come to the village where they can be protected and live alongside the others. The troll leader asks to see the village first, so Liam uses a high-level teleportation spell to move the entire group instantly. They arrive in the center of the settlement, much to the surprise of Chris. The reunion between Chris and the troll leader is loud and full of bickering. Chris calls him a meathead, and the troll leader retorts by calling her a boar woman. This prompts Chris to kick him squarely in the chest. Liam watches in confusion until Chris explains their history. They have always been rivals, fighting whenever they cross paths. She boasts about her hundreds of victories, though she admits she has also lost plenty of times. Liam points out that they seem more like close friends than enemies. Chris notices the troll leader seems weaker than usual, but Liam corrects her, explaining that she has simply grown much stronger since becoming a werewolf familiar. At Chris's urging, the troll leader agrees to form a contract with Liam. When the magic takes hold and Liam gives him the name Guy, the troll undergoes a massive evolution. Guy becomes smaller but much more powerful, and his speech becomes formal and refined. He is no longer a simple troll, but a legendary Gigas. Liam then performs the naming ceremony for the rest of the group, giving them names like Gon. As the trolls evolve into Gigas, the village's defensive power reaches a whole new level. Life in the village settles into a new rhythm. Guy takes over much of the heavy lifting, often teasing Chris when she struggles to carry large boulders. While they bicker, Liam focuses on the iron-rich stones they have collected. He calls upon his gnome and salamander spirits to melt the boulders in a forge. He manages to extract large amounts of iron, copper, and precious metals, but he is disappointed by the small amount of high mithril he finds. Radon explains that mithril is incredibly rare, and that most human metals aren't strong enough to create magic battle armor. Liam refuses to give up, believing that failure is simply a lack of success and not something to be feared. He decides to experiment by infusing ordinary iron with Radon's magic power. He creates a mold and names the resulting suit of armor Apollo, after the sun. To Radon's amazement, the armor evolves and becomes functional despite the lack of mithril. Liam realizes that the act of naming is a primitive but potent form of magic that can change the very nature of an object. He spends the rest of the day racking his brain for names, eventually creating 15 suits of iron armor to distribute among the elves, werewolves, and gigas. The strength of this new equipment is soon put to the test. A group of human slave hunters arrives at the village, eyeing the elves as treasure to be sold for luxury. They demand that the villagers surrender without a fight. Reyna stops Liam from stepping in, signaling for an elf named Mina to handle it instead. Mina, wearing her new iron armor, easily beats the men into submission. Chris watches from the sidelines, remarking that their master shouldn't have to bother with such weaklings. The leader of the humans tries to take Liam hostage with a knife, but the villagers don't even flinch. They know Liam is the strongest person there. Liam finishes the fight with a single power missile, sending the survivors running in terror. That night, Liam returns to another world to gather resources. He summons several water spirits known as Celsius, and asks them to help him separate seawater into fresh water and salt for the village. He recognizes one of the spirits as one he helped evolve earlier. The spirit expresses her gratitude and explains that she has learned how to possess objects in the human world. Liam is intrigued by the idea of spirit possession and asks her to assist him in a new experiment. He forms a contract with her and gives her the name Zero. Zero possesses a new suit of armor Liam has crafted. This results in a prototype of spirit-possessed magic battle armor. Liam gives the prototypes to Reyna, Chris, and Guy to test. The results are staggering. Chris claims to be 10 times stronger than before. The power is exhausting to use, but Guy and Reyna agree that they will train hard to master it so they can protect everyone. Liam is pleased, believing that mass-producing this armor will make his nation invincible. However, Radon watches silently, noting that Liam is being quite naive. The dragon god realizes that if Liam equips his people with this level of power, he won't just be defending a village, he will have the strength to challenge entire empires. Liam, however, is too focused on his pursuit of magic to realize the true scale of the army he is building. Sometime later, Liam finally tracks down Asuna and Jody, who are both relieved and frustrated to see him. Asuna immediately scolds him for disappearing without a word, while Jody expresses her deep concern. Liam offers a quick apology, explaining that he has been overwhelmed with a massive amount of work. Asuna quickly shifts gears, demanding that Liam hand over their money. The two girls remind him of the agreement they made after Princess Scarlet paid them for their silence regarding the discovery of radon. In a brief memory of that day, Asuna and Jody had questioned where Liam got so much gold, and he explained it was a payment to keep the dragon god's existence a secret. Although the girls had argued that they wouldn't have told anyone anyway, especially since they were bound to Liam by contract, they ultimately decided it was safer for Liam to hold on to their shares. Now, back in the present, Liam wonders what they could possibly need such a large sum for. The girls lead Liam to a local shop and emerge with a rare prize, a grimoire that was the only one in town without a registered owner. They present it to Liam, explaining that they know how much he needs to expand his magical repertoire. Liam is genuinely touched by the gesture. He examines the book and realizes it contains a spell he has never encountered before. He thanks them both warmly for their thoughtfulness and their support. Later, over a meal at a restaurant, Liam reveals the truth about his recent activities. The girls are stunned to learn that he is actually building an entire nation. When Liam asks if they want to join him in the Promised Land or stay in the city to continue their lives as hunters, Asuna doesn't hesitate for a second. She declares that they are obviously going with him because it sounds like a lot of fun. Jody agrees, reminding him that they are his familiars and would follow him anywhere. Before they depart, Liam decides to master the new spell from the grimoire. He focuses his mind and begins casting the spell over and over. With each repetition, the casting time decreases as he grows more familiar with the mana flow. He successfully activates the spell, which he calls the Dust Box. Asuna and Jody are impressed by how quickly he learns, but they are curious about what the spell actually does. Liam explains that it functions similarly to his item box, allowing him to store vast amounts of material depending on his power. However, there is a catch. To demonstrate, he takes a portion of their hot food and places it inside the dust box. When he retrieves it just a minute later, the food emits a foul, rotten stench. The girls recoil, realizing the spell makes anything inside it spoil at an accelerated rate. Initially, they think it is just a glorified garbage bin, but Liam's mind is already racing with possibilities. He rushes out and returns with freshly squeezed grape juice and yeast. He places them in the dust box and waits for exactly 5 minutes. When he opens the magical container, a rich, full-bodied aroma fills the air. He has instantly created wine. He realizes that this spell can mass-produce anything that requires fermentation, such as soy sauce or pickles, in a fraction of the time it would normally take. Back at his house, Liam continues his experiments to find the exact ratio of time acceleration. He lines up 10 bottles of grape juice and places them in the box at different intervals. Jody acts as the official taste tester, and through her expertise, they determine that every hour spent inside the dust box is equivalent to 1 year of aging. Jody enjoys the tasting a bit too much, while Liam feels a pang of nostalgia for his previous life, remembering how much he enjoyed an evening drink. The girls finally arrive at the village and are given a warm welcome. That evening, Reina organizes a grand feast to celebrate the new residents. The atmosphere is festive and competitive. Chris and Guy engage in a spirited cook-off to see who can prepare the best meal. Chris presents a special grilled sheep monster, emphasizing the importance of hearty meat. Guy counters with a traditional Gigas dish of grilled cow monster. The two rivals end up grudgingly admiring each other's work. Reina adds to the spread with an elf-style mushroom and herb soup, which pairs perfectly with the instant noodles Liam provides. Asuna and Jody dive into the food, overwhelmed by the incredible flavors and the abundance of the land. The following day, the group heads into the forest to gather wild fruit for Liam's new fermentation projects. Chris and Guy turn the chore into yet another competition, racing to see who can pick the most. They eventually strip the trees bare in their excitement, earning a stern lecture from Reina about sustainable harvesting. The light-hearted mood is shattered by a sudden, frantic shout. A crazed individual lunges at one of the Gigas named Gon and bites him. Liam quickly intervenes, using several power missiles to neutralize the attacker. Gon falls to the ground, acting as if he has lost his mind and trying to fight his own friends. Liam senses a dark status effect and casts his all-clear magic. Light washes over Gon, returning him to his senses. Jody recognizes the symptoms immediately. She explains that the attacker was likely a vampire, and that Gon was suffering from an infection that turns victims into mindless servants. She is amazed that Liam was able to cure it, as such infections are usually permanent. Chris notes that vampires shouldn't be able to move around in the daylight, which leads Jody to a terrifying conclusion. She tells them about the legend of a Dracula, a mutant vampire born once every few centuries who can withstand the sun and lead other vampires with iron authority. A werewolf scout returns with even worse news. A massive horde of over 10,000 vampires has been spotted 10 kilometers to the north. The sheer scale of the army is overwhelming, over 100 times larger than the village's population. It becomes clear that the Dracula has been absorbing other species into his ranks, turning orcs and goblins into undead soldiers. Reyna is confused because vampires are typically timid creatures, but Chris explains that the Dracula has driven them into a violent frenzy. The villagers are terrified, knowing that if they lose the coming battle, they will simply be added to the enemy's numbers. Liam remains calm and orders the evacuation of all nearby villages. Unfortunately, the other residents are stubborn and refuse to leave, resulting in them being quickly overrun and converted into more vampires. The scout reports that a powerful figure appeared and revived all the fallen vampires, confirming the presence of a Dracula. Despite the impossible odds, Liam has a plan. He leads the 3 race leaders, along with Asuna and Jody, to face the vampire army. They all equip their new magic battle armors, creating a wall of elemental power. Reyna unleashes massive waterfalls, Chris creates fiery explosions, and Guy shatters the earth with a Gaia crusher. Asuna and Jody join in with their own specialized attacks, tearing through the front lines of the undead horde. As the battle rages, the Dracula finally makes his appearance. Sensing the leader, Liam teleports directly in front of him and then immediately teleports both of them 100 kilometers away to a secluded location. The Dracula is impressed by the maneuver but remains smug. He tells Liam that he intends to consume every lesser species in the world and that coexistence is impossible. Liam opens the fight with a barrage of 19 power missiles, followed by 9 holy lances. To his horror, the Dracula remains completely unharmed, stopping the magical projectiles with ease. The vampire lunges forward and bites what he thinks is Liam's neck, but it is only a magical illusion. Liam dispels the fake image and feels a surge of genuine fear. He considers using the Guardian Radon armor, but he knows it will drain his mana too quickly if he misses his chance for a decisive blow. The Dracula laughs, declaring himself immortal and existing outside the laws of the world. He explains that since he is not technically alive, he cannot die, and his body is merely a vessel to consume life force. He promises to turn Liam into one of his kin to end his despair. In that moment of crisis, Liam remembers his new spell. He summons the dust box and traps the Dracula inside. Since the Dracula is not technically a living creature, the spell's restrictions don't apply, and he is sucked into the magical void. Liam waits for 10 hours, which equates to 10 years of isolation and decay inside the box. Without any life force to consume, the Dracula enters a state of suspended animation. Radon is deeply impressed that Liam defeated such a powerful foe with a single utility-focused spell. He notes that while many mages rely on flashy power, Liam understands the true value of cleverness. Victorious and relieved, Liam prepares to head back to his people, knowing his village is finally safe from the shadows.